Hello guys and welcome back, or welcome for the first time. My name's Ben Saville and I'm going to be going over an idea that I've spoke of before called turning the fuck yous into the thank yous. This is part 2, so you might want to watch part 1 after this. It doesn't really matter. This is since I've been practicing the idea a bit more, we've got a bit more experience and we've also had a lot more dickheads. So I've dealt with them for you, and I've got some stories. One particularly, which we're going to get to a bit later in this story. Actually, guys, I shouldn't say dickheads. That's the whole point. They're not dickheads. But my point is, you will bump into one or two of them, and that was something that I have been struggling with quite a bit. What happens when you bump into a genuine dickhead, like someone who is not going to be nice, someone who's going to shut you down at every opportunity, someone who doesn't want to listen to what you're saying, someone who is just purely negative and they have nothing good to give you? What happens when you encounter these people? How are you meant to say thank you to these people? How are you not going to react with a fuck you? Like, I don't care, fuck you. We're not going to do that. We are going to say thank you, goodbye, okay? We're going to get to that bit in a bit. But I've been grasping like a new idea. I thought of this as I was writing out a post, and I've called it the interior designer concept. Now, what this sort of encompasses is the idea of keeping that door open and not shutting the door to anyone, or as to limited amount of people as possible. You want to welcome people in with very welcoming arms. Keep that door open. Let as many people come in to your house, your shop, whatever it is. Let them wander around. Let them have a look at everything. The reason for this, if you keep letting people in and you're not shutting them down by ignoring them, by saying fuck yous, or, I mean, you don't always have to phrase it like that, but that you don't care, that you aren't interested in them, you get the option to allow as many people in as possible. And one of those people is going to be a massive saviour to you. They are going to be an interior designer to this shop, to this house, and they are not going to like a lot of the things, and they are going to tell you, that could be improved here, that could be improved here, that could be improved here. Now, if you haven't practiced turning the fuck yous into thank yous, it's going to be really hard to see that, like, to want to take the good in that. And of course, that's really important. So when you think about your house, if you have a shop, it's quite good because it's a bit of a closer metaphor. If you're trying to sell something, look around your house and look at the amount of things that you yourself could not have come up with. Like, these ideas, if they didn't exist, I wouldn't have come up with them. A very quick example would probably be windows. Like, originally there wasn't windows. At one point there was not windows. Then some guy was like, this would be a much better idea in your house if I created this glass slab and I put it here. So you need these people that are like, that hole in the wall is pretty shit, let's fix it. And you have to be like, oh my god, thank you so much. Like, now I get to see the world and not be cold at the same time. It's great. Then someone later comes round and they have this idea for double glazing, and now you're definitely not going to be cold. No one's going to smash that window, and you're pretty good. So you need to be taking, opening as many doors as possible. A way to do this is obviously to invite as many people in as possible. So at any opportunity you can that feels right, let people judge your content. Like, maybe send out messages that invite people to interact with you closer. And these people are going to be kind of the people that are going to be able to give you some negative feedback, some positive feedback. They're going to give you loads and loads of feedback, and that's so important. If you're trying to develop your business or yourself or whatever it is that you're trying to improve, because I believe we are all trying to improve all the time, let them give you some ideas, have some negative feedback, and turn it into positives. So for me as well, I have a very close friend who helps me to create videos. Not to help me create videos, but he always comments on my videos, or I've asked him to start doing that more, which is so helpful. If you are watching this now, you might be a little bit pissed off because I haven't taken all of your advice. I do understand that. This was because it didn't suit me at the time. So apologies for that. But everything you've taken, every idea that this person gives me, I'm like, right, that's so good, that's so good, that's so good. So we get into a conversation the other day, and he sends me like a long list of like, this could be improved, this could be improved, this could be improved. And I didn't even address it as negative. Like, I never even thought in my head, this is negative. Like, why is this person saying this? I tried so hard. And in the end, it's like, I'm sorry for all the negative comments, dude. Like, I like it overall, but da-da-da. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, without those negative comments, I wouldn't understand it from your perspective. So it's so good. Actually, let's try and get a bit more feedback on that. If possible, I was told not to do this anymore with my hair. But it just suited me because I like to get up and make a video based on a bit more of a feeling. So what do you guys think? And also the shape of this video, as in it's in portrait and I was told to put it in landscape. What do you guys think? If you can give me some feedback on that as well, that would be good, so we can get a bit of a broader range of answers going, and a few more negative comments maybe. That would be great. So guys, essentially, do not shoot the messenger. So you've got your interior designer. This person's going to give you a completely different perspective. So, you know, back in the old days, I mean, none of us were there, but someone would come really far on their horse, and they'd send this message of a negative content, and I don't know, the king or whoever was there would read it, and he would probably say fuck you with a sword or a gun, and that messenger is gone, and that person can no longer get any information from this new perspective, from this place that's really far away, that he would have to travel and get to go to extreme lengths to come up with those answers himself. So do not shoot the messenger. Find ways of getting more messengers to your house, and be prepared for when that interior designer comes to your house and they dislike a majority of things, and you can say, wow, thank you so much. Without this, I wouldn't have had a window. Without this, I wouldn't have been able to improve my service to this extent. Also, as we said before, we're getting a different perspective, so there might be some stuff that you think is really good. So also is important for the positive stuff, right? So this person might say, this is really good. But what's good? Like, if you didn't ask what's good, you might follow the completely wrong path, and you might see this from a completely different perspective because you were never in that person's shoes. So that's an extra bit to take. Now, my reason for getting up and not following all of my friends' instructions on this video was because this morning I had to deal with this fuck you, thank you thing, right? And I tried, and I done a pretty good job. I'm quite happy with myself. But I came into the person that was entirely negative and had nothing good to say and was purely wasting my time. Now, of course, this person, I found them online by me reaching out, by me going out of my way to try and find some positive, some negative, and just essentially some connections with people, like whatever the connections entail. So this person told me that they were really busy and they weren't able to talk, and that's fine. And then they continued to message me, which we don't need to go into, but displays he wasn't busy. Right. Anyways. So, of course, I explained, oh, thank you so much for responding to me. If you would like to rearrange a call for a different time, that's cool. What qualifications do you have to talk to me? What's your experience here? Da-da-da-da-da. So, of course, I've encountered this before. At the moment, I'm a starting out business coach. So, people question that, and that's fine because they want to know, right? So I explain what I do, and that I'm starting out, and the experience will help me, and these are my experiences here and here and here. And then you find the response that was literally coaches coaching coaches to coach or something. I mean, I didn't really have much to gain from that. There was no positive I could have gained. I didn't understand. So I think so then he actually continued. Yeah, he continued and said that I'm wasting my time, etc., etc. And and he wanted to give me advice, is basically to not do this, right? I mean, he doesn't know anything about me. So I said, thank you for your feedback, and I understand where you've come from, but obviously you haven't actually listened to what I was saying, or like you haven't actually taken a chance to get to know me, and that's fine, and we don't need to continue a connection here. And this person continued and continued, and I was like, okay, let me explore this a bit deeper now, because this person is clearly just negative, and in their busy schedule is going out of their way to try and maybe stomp on some dreams or whatever, right? I mean, it doesn't affect me, luckily, because I've been trying my best. I mean, I still felt the fuck you. Of course, I still felt the fuck you, right? But we don't need to use the fuck you. So, again, these people are completely negative people, and we can close the door on them, because once you've realised that either they have nothing positive to provide you with, because we are still looking for the positive, right? We need there to be some bit of information to gain from each person. Or if you can answer their questions for them. Like, once you can answer a person's questions for them, they are not needed. Like, you don't need to have the emotion with it. Or this is what I found, right? So if you know that someone is always going to answer with like a challenge and not listen to you, and not actually take the information, if they're not reflecting on the information with negativity, so like if they're just here like, well, I'm going to win this argument, da, 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 da. Let them win. Like, that's it. You know what they want. Let them win. Thank you so much. You're right. Bye. Stop wasting my time. You know, you need to take some positive from it. I say, like, turn these fuck yous into thank yous and say thank you to everyone. You should probably do that, right? Saying thank you to people is really important. But if you can start to guess what they're going to say next, and they're not going to listen to you, you've done it yourself. You've mastered it. You've become the person that is the negative comments as well. So maybe, if it benefits you more, breathe in, meditate, pretend to be this person for a bit, and challenge every single thing you say. And still, do not get wound up, or do not fight back to these people, because you cannot fight fire with fire. Wasting your time to do some unnecessary shit to make someone happy about their negativity, it really benefits no one. So hopefully, guys, that rant made a bit of sense. It's a bit of a rant because they got me a bit fired up with the negativity, but you know, again, I can feel the fuck you. It's fine to feel it. Just do not reflect it, because you're going to get into this spiral of bullshit. And yeah, so the lesson that I would like to just take as a main focus from this is, when someone is entirely negative and you can guess their response, you do not need their response.